So again, Tony, would you mind just stating your name and your organisation and just giving us a brief overview of your role and experience between digital inclusion?
So Tony Sharp from Substation 33, I'm the founder. We've been 8 years processing electronic waste, collecting and processing electronic waste. And then since COVID hit, we've identified that digital inclusion is not so prevalent. And so there's a big gap there. So we have been building and developing from what would otherwise have been scrap and getting computers into homes.
Yeah, definitely much needed services. And I think that's a really good way just to recycle and get more technology to people that maybe can't access it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with your organisation, Substation 33, you play a significant role in ensuring people from low socioeconomic backgrounds can access digital technology. What inspired you to develop this social enterprise initiative?
So we're 8 years in now. We were trying to do it around a lot of things, both the environmental problems with electronic waste ending up in landfill, but also creating employment opportunities for people that were marginalised from mainstream employment, which is a gobful. But that's basically what it was. And we were very small form factoring or very small amounts of tech back into homes pre-COVID. But that's changed significantly for us and continues to change.
Yeah, definitely. We can never predict what's going to happen, I guess, but your work it's doing amazing things for people that can't access technology. So it's very, very needed. Your website suggested that you have a lot of education and employment opportunities for people to engage with. How do you feel that this helps increase people's digital access and technological literacy?
Well, I suppose the technological literacy is increased just by sublineal learning. So I think for us, what we want to do is to get low grade technology into homes. So lower graded technology into homes. It's not, so we don't need to have the latest, off the shelf computer. We can get a computer together and get people experimenting, because if we get a really high end computer, my presumption is, and it's been true through our observations here, is that if you get a really high end computer, then it's always owned and operated by one person in the family. So what we had always been is we didn't really want to have laptops going out into homes, because when a laptop goes into a home, it becomes a personal device for one person in the home normally. Also, large family groups have large families. And in that large families, there's a broad spectrum of young people from toddlers and below through to to adults or semi-adults. And so having toddlers in charge of a laptop they're gonna break it. That's just what they do. They don't understand, and that's just what's going to happen. And the other thing is, and this is something that we've sort of learned as we went along, is that if we have a desktop in the family home, a screen, keyboard and mouse, and a Wi-Fi dongle that they can access either via, Wi-Fi into the home or via a mobile phone, or by Uncle Jimmy's mobile phone. It doesn't really matter. But what we're finding is that it becomes a part of the furniture in the home, and because it's part of the furniture in the home, then people in the homes that are my age or older that have never ever operated a computer can then jump on a computer and start playing with it, or learning on it, or experimenting on it. And then, a clear observation and knowledge that we've had from people is that then the 8, 10, 12-year-olds are sitting beside granddad or grandma and teaching them how to use the computer. That's awesome, hey? That's really that's digital inclusion full on, because it's the whole family group growing. So I use my story as an example of this. So our first family computer came to the home in 1991. Mm-hmm. I had never used a computer prior to that. Wasn't particularly well scholared at school. I didn't like school. Yeah. But now, look, I'm killing computers. That was 1991. I'm up to 3 fingers now. I can do my 2 fingers and thumb on the space bar. I've got this covered, hey.
Yeah, look at you go.
But this is the thing: that's digital inclusion, is learning by mistake. So if you know, when I was at school, and many other people experience this too, peer pressure was very dominant in my upbringing. And so I would not have wanted to make a mistake in front of peers. Yet at home, it's okay. You can make lots of mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the sanction of your own lounge room. So that's why for us, desktop, screen, keyboard, mouse, getting toddlers and everybody, I suppose, but getting, you know, older people getting used to tapping away, getting the toddlers used to tapping away. We all make mistakes and can laugh and giggle about those mistakes, but we all are in this together.
Yeah, definitely. That's so inspiring just to see where you are now and where you've come from. And I totally agree that children need to get in at a young age and start using that technology, but it's also so diverse. People of all ages can use it. And that's a really good point that I haven't thought of before about having just one desktop in the family. Really, really.
It's a piece of furniture, hey?
Yeah, that's really something that I think a lot of people wouldn't really think about.
You go to IKEA, you buy a piece of furniture. You come to substation, you buy a piece of tech, it becomes a piece of furniture.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is the thing about it, you know, for $100 we can supply a piece of technology, and this is the interesting thing that we were giving from the education department. I'm not whinging, I'm not having a go at anybody, but the education department was sending home a wish list of computers, what they wanted the young person to have to access their digital technology home. Now that machine was worth $1,500. It was bought, you know, it was bought at the tier one, you know, retailers, electronic retailers in Australia, if you could buy one. What we did was we reverse engineered that for $100. We had students picking up a computer from here, $100, and going home. And within 45 minutes, they accessed their university, their Education Queensland OneDrive account, and they were doing their schoolwork in the sanction of their own lounge room for $100 investment. Now that's a true investment in digital divide.
That is incredible. Now,
And so so we can do 15 homes. We can do 15 homes. Still get the kids doing their thing for the price of one home.
Yeah, that's
We've
amazing.
got to stop with this consumerism.
Yeah, 100% totally agree with you there. Over your lifespan, how much has the importance of computer and internet access possibly changed?
I'm not going to attempt to make the weird nana noise that they used to do when you went on to ADSL.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, who would have thought when I was growing up? Yeah, I'm probably definitely going to show my age here. Watched a man land on the moon on a black and white scratchy TV.
Mm-hmm.
Had the Encyclopedia Britannica and the World Books as the front and center of our family home. So, you know, my dad built a bookshelf that held the Encyclopedia Britannica or World Book or whatever it was. It was a big thing. It was half the size of this room, full of words and pieces of paper. I'm speaking to you on a phone. You could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
At the same time as I'm speaking to you on this phone, I can jump on and fact check you from a gazillion pieces of facts while I'm speaking to you on the phone. That's changed, eh?
Yeah, it's incredible. Who would have thought?
So who would have thought? And you know, I've got a 3.5 or 4-year-old grandson at the moment. This is his world.
Yeah.
This is the world that he's growing into.
And hopefully
so how much difference?
Yeah. In the future, I wonder how far the digital divide will go and how much we'll need to keep bridging that divide. It's really interesting, hey?
So I think that for me is that we've got information of schools in Logan that only have 20% of that school community have a device in their homes. Yeah. Now, I'm not picking on Logan because I'm a big fan of Logan. I live and work here, but I reckon that's across Queensland and across Australia. So internationally, big picture stuff. Let's look at computers and what's happening with computer. So typically an ex-education department or education computer ends up being bought by an on-seller, and that on-seller prior to COVID, and even still now, and we need to move that, they were buying their computer and they were sending their computer to other countries, Pakistan, wherever they were going around the world. Yet in their own backyard, we have people without a computer. So aren't we making the rest of the world smarter than we are? How dumb is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why aren't we doing that here? Why aren't we getting computers into the houses and into the family groups that are in our own backyard? Because we don't know what the talent base is for the kid that lives in that home. We don't know what their true passion is or what their true ability on a computer is. We have no idea because they don't have a computer.
Yeah.
And they can't do it at school because peer pressure is kicked in and is disabling them from doing that.
We need to get it into our own citizens. We need to keep pushing it, but also then eventually maybe it can span to the rest of the world, but we need to get it.
Sure, but let's stick at what we do here first.
Yeah, definitely. Relating it to that, Tony, if perhaps you could change one thing to help bridge the digital divide, what do you think you would do and why? It's a bit of a tough one.
We need more substations hanging around.
Yep.
So substation is in Logan. It's in Logan. Mm-hmm. If we expand substation, we'll probably blow it up.
Okay. Yeah.
And we don't want to have the cookie cutter McDonald's Subway brand model. We want to have people in communities being able to develop. I'll give you an example of this. There's a young guy called Jack from North Queensland. He runs an organisation called Lighthouse, Litehaus. Jack's been getting computers out of substation and into Ravensbourne School out of Townsville. So I think there is, don't quote me too much on these numbers. There's around about 200 students in that school with zero, not one computer in their family homes. Okay. So we've spent 20 computers up. We're going to send some more up over time.
Yep.
So in that, look at the percentages of that. We've now got 10% of the Ravensbourne community now have a computer in their home. So now that's 10% of that community. And this is not our job. This is Jack on the Lighthouse. Yep. But, we need in every community in Queensland, we need a Jack.
Yeah, we do, 100%.
Every community in Queensland, we need a substation or an affiliation of substations. We don't need to be shipping these frigging computers all around the world. I'll check myself back then. We need to be able to keep them in Queensland, locally, regionally, getting kids happy with doing this. And there's some using this on the space bar. That's how you type, eh? This and this, and that's the space bar.
Yeah, that's the way our world is heading. So we need to get them prepared and we need to get that technology out there. In the end, that's what our project's trying to do. We're trying to raise that awareness and try to get someone like Jack to get us going in Queensland and get us going. So how do you think governments are perhaps doing in this area, or what do you think they maybe need to do a bit more of?
So big business dictates to government around a lot of things, hey?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Business is on a very cyclical arrangement. We know that as well. So I think there needs to be a lot of stuff done around, there could be legislative stuff done around what happens to computers, why they must stay domestically.
Yep.
But the other thing is, how do we trim back the expectations? Because it's okay for somebody, maybe like myself, to have the expectation that everybody must have this spec machine.
Yep.
Why would you have that spec machine if you type like I do?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. You cannot keep up. You can't keep up with that processor.
No.
The other thing that we've done, I think, which is unintended consequence around it, is that we've been able to, the lower end machine, piece of furniture in the family home. I'm a broken record. I'll bang on about this all the time, but it's a low tech piece of machinery. It's sitting in the family home. Anybody can access it, but you can't game on it. That's a win, hey?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get hooked into the gaming cycle. It's there for either web browsing, email transmission, maybe a bit of social media stuff, but it's getting people familiar with devices.
Yeah. It's for the
no gaming.
That
yeah, no gaming.
Yeah.
So if we give them a high end, the latest top end machine, blah blah blah, they're going to be able to get onto a game. They're going to become addicted to the game. Then the game becomes almighty.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want the device not to be a hindrance to the family home, but be an asset to the family home.
Yeah. Now, is there perhaps any advice you would give someone who wants to make a difference or help in bridging the digital divide? Your authenticity is so inspiring. So, is there any advice you could give?
Yep, I'm checking my spec. I've got all my filters on today. That just like we have a saying here, just get some shit done.
Yep.
Yep. Hashtag get shit done. So I want people out there doing it. Don't talk about it. Don't theorize about it. Get a computer, get it into a family home. That's what I want to see happen. How do we make this happen as quickly and as fast as we can?
Yeah.
So that's a piece of work. That's a piece of work that we do here. We're the facilitator of that. We can bring devices in, we data secure them, we put an image on it, we send a computer out. That's it. Hey, that's it. That's all our job is. Our job is not to deliver the computers. Our job is to facilitate the building, getting gear in, cobbling stuff together, making it into a package that looks presentable into a family home. But somebody else has to do that bit. Somebody has to get the computer off us, facilitate the transfer of the money, which is $100, get that machine out into the family home. Many people can do that. You know, service clubs can do that. Faith-based organisations can do that. Many people can do that. We've just got to get serious about it.
Yeah, awesome. That's a really good piece of advice. Thank you for that. Tony, is there any other further comments or notes you'd perhaps like to add that we haven't spoken on yet?
No, I think I'm all
talked out. Well, again, thank you.
I'm not. You wish I was all talked out. I'm not.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us your time and expertise. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.